Good afternoon and welcome back to Ravenport. I've had to wait, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, I've had to wait for the crops to be ready to harvest. I've just come over here, this is the barn sell point. I'll put the mini map on. I'm down here right in the southern edge of the map. The barn sell point where you can sell bales. This sell point here is listed as the biomass heating plant. It's actually a timber sell point. Works at the same basis as I showed you. Oh, let me put the help menu on. That you put the wood in there and then you sell it, or it's on the trailer and then you sell it. But yeah, so in case you didn't realise, there's a nice place on the southern edge of the map to sell wood. That might be quite handy. Yeah, I'll just have a little potter around just to find my way around. Down in here, we have the local scrapyard. I'll leave the mini map on for you. Ooh. There's the local scrapyard. Nothing really to interact with in here, but a nice little bit of scenery on the map. Very run down place. I do like scrapyards in real life. Nice place to spend an afternoon collecting up some bits and pieces for projects. I put them into cars and my lovely lady makes objects out of them. So yeah, nice having a girlfriend who loves it when you bring her back an unusual piece of scrap metal. I've been playing a lot of Fallout at the weekend, and just out of habit, when I first came in here, I tried to pick up these sardines. Yum, yum, yum. Anyway, that's besides the point. The Spanish mission is up over there. That's where we were in the last episode. We did the jobs on the field on that kind of plateau up at the top of the map on that eastern side. The spinnery is ahead of us. I shall see you at the shop, because we have lots and lots of stuff to buy. So here we are up at the store, and we have maxed out our loan. As long as we pay back what we can before midnight, we won't pay the interest on the excess. So let's get buying. All we have is a tractor, front loader arms, and a fertilizer spreader, and a trailer. So we need pretty much all of the equipment we're going to need on a farm. So we shall start with the harvester. Now I'm going to go for the New Holland TX32, $100,000. The main reason is the Bison has quite a short emptying pipe, and it's not very high, so some trailers do have trouble emptying it, so do bear that in mind. The case harvester, which we all used quite a lot, the Axial Flow in 17, is now available as a Giant mod. Well, I'm not really sure they count as mods if Giants are publishing them. But anyway, we're going to get the New Holland, and we are going to buy him for $100,000, and then we are going to need a header. Now to save ourselves a little bit of time, we're going to get the widest header that is reasonably priced. Now they start off again as the case mod header right at the end here, $28,000, 4.3 meters, and then we've got 32,000 for 32,000 5-meter width. And the Fint's $27,000, just 4.2. So we're going to go for the 5-meter Rustle Mash header. It will save us a little bit of time, save us some money and wages, and it will fit on our harvester. You can mix and match. The only restriction really is how long the pipe is on the harvester, and that the header isn't wider than that. Right, so that's the harvesting sorted out. Where are we? Beautiful. It'll be quite a nice little colour scheme as well, I think. I'll put my torch on. Yes, splendid. Right, that's that sorted out. So now we're going to need a... I'm going to go for a subsoiler. It ploughs or cultivates. We're going to go for the 3-meter cultivator because it only needs 90 horsepower. Now this version of the game is much stricter on the horsepower limits and the effect that has on the vehicle, so do bear that in mind. Don't push your luck like you could in previous games. I certainly did. Right, so that's the ploughing and cultivating sorted out for now. We need a seeder. In fact, we need 2. Today I think we're going to get away with 1, and I think we're not actually going to get a seeder. We're going to go into planters because we're going to get this Amazone. What we're going to do is replant the corn today and then plant soy, which we can do with this planter, just to save us a little bit of cash outlay on day 1. So we're going to buy him. He needs 100 horsepower, so we'll be okay with him. So that's the cultivating, that's the planting. We're going to need a weeder, because everybody needs a weeder. They've come down in price a lot, which I'm very pleased about. We shall buy the Einbock. It's a nice wide piece of equipment. I quite like the unfolding animation. We shall see that soon. Here we are. So harvesting, planting, where's the, there we go, cultivating, weeding. We've got the fertilizer. Do we need anything else for now? I think that's it for us to get started, isn't it? Yes, it is. We'll have a look at the fields when we get down there. Back at the store, we've moved most of the equipment down to the farm, including the harvester. I'm just going to fill this seeder here with fertilizer. Now, this is a little bit quirky, or it can be. It's only 300, so we're going to buy a couple more pallets. We're going to buy, after I press the right button, we're going to buy another pallet of, well, a first pallet of seed, in fact, and another pallet of fertilizer. Now, this machine, the planter, holds a lot more fertilizer than it does seed, and uses the fertilizer much more slowly than it does the seed. So filling this up will last us a very long time, but we will need to top this up with seed quite frequently. So to that end, we need to go back in the shop. Equipment, we will buy ourselves some pallet forks, some nice white ones. No, yes, so I can find them, and we're going to use those to take the pallet of seed back down to the farm. Now, I was going to buy a second tractor, but I'm going to do today with one. I want to keep as much money available as possible and have as much money available tomorrow. I need to get that pallet, don't I? I'm going to try something out. Well, I'm going to do something actually. I know it's going to work, which I can only do early game, I think, before I start spending money. You'll have to wait for the next episode to see what I'm up to there. Here we go. Safe as houses. We'll take it a little bit easy. Out here, I suppose I'm supposed to drive on the wrong side of the road, am I? Not much traffic around here, I'm pleased to say. I imagine if there was a decent flow of traffic, it would get a bit chaotic around these junctions, because the AI drivers are not good at corners. Right. So I think we found a lovely little start-up corner of this map actually. Any animal is good to bring down here. You get grass if you've got sheep or cows. You've got wheat if you've got chickens. You've got wheat and corn if you want pigs. Oats isn't hard to do if you want horses, and you've also got the grass. You've got water just across the street over by the spinnery, and the animal dealers isn't too far away either. So if you want an animal farm, I think on this map this is a good place to start. I'd love to have a shed, but I simply can't afford one right now. Right, we'll leave the front loader arms here. There we go. Now we've already had a bit of an incident, as you can see, with the subsoiler. It's fallen over and they can be quite hard to stand back up. Might have to reset it. We'll see what we can do using the front loader. Right, anyway, we've got one layer of fertilizer on here. Now if I'm right, I'm going to check. I have been reliably informed, but it doesn't mean I won't check, that you cannot fertilize on a ready to harvest crop, which is fair enough if you can't, if you think about it. We only got one stage on here because of the growth stage when we got hold of the field. Now I'm also considering what to do with these two fields. At the moment this field and field 18 are one growth stage apart, so that's going to be about 5 hours, 4 hours. Ooh. Right, let's see. If we go onto the map, and this can be a little bit fiddly because it doesn't highlight what you've got switched on. That should turn off needs ploughing. So 21 we can see is 1 times fertilised. And let's just see. If I just go along here a little way, does any of that now show us having extra fertilizer? Nope, there you go. So you cannot, confirmed, you cannot fertilise ready to harvest crops, which I think is fair enough, because it wouldn't have time to take effect. I always thought it was a little bit weird that you could. So that means we're going to frolic through our crop in a very non-damaging way and get in here. Now it seems to be quite a basic piece of equipment. It hasn't got as many screens and displays as some of the newer ones, but it'll get the job done, we hope. I need to unfold the harvester. There you go. You have to be in the harvester to unfold the ladder to get in the harvester. We are harvesting our first crop of this playthrough. Wheat. We shall get some into the cows as soon as possible. Now the other thing I haven't got apart from a shed is a silo. I am laying down straw. We need straw for the pigs also. We'll start picking that up shortly. At the moment I don't think we're going to have an issue. My plan is to plant the crops in the first couple of days just to get all of the pig troughs full up for 10 days. And then we'll see where we are. But again, it's not just the price of the silo. If we take a little look in the shop, in theory, a small silo is $110,000. That's a lot of money for us. Yeah. Plus the whatever we actually have to pay for placing it, which is impossible to tell, unfortunately, until you try. Alright, I'm just going to take a headland off over here, which I think is always going to be a good move if you're going to leave the staff, because this slope here may get a little bit tricky for them, who knows. Now we've got straw on the floor and we need to get it over there into those pigs. For those of you familiar with our previous work, will remember what a Sosnovkan loading wagon is, and I think we're going to employ the same technique right here. So let's just see how the worker gets on. I'm just going to let the worker go now. See if he's got enough space. I think it might be a bit tight, but there you go. Off you go, Mr. Worker, our very first employee. Who have we got? Can't see. Oh, it's Derek. Fantastic. Crack on, mate. Right. So we are going to start our work. We're going to grab this here tipper first. And then we're going to grab the front loader arms. Drop the forks. Pick up the bucket. Excuse me, mini map. I'm very clunky with a controller. If you're not familiar with me, sorry. I'm just as clunky with my words sometimes. Sometimes completely the wrong word comes out. The context will usually tell you what I mean. But I do try to keep these commentaries live and not get too over-produced. That's my excuse anyway. Right, let's pick up some straw, shall we? And once you get the bucket in the right place, you can whiz along quite nicely. We're full already. And then we can put this bucket of straw straight into the pigs. And that's here, I believe. There we go, they got a little bit of bedding over there. Let's just have a look on the animal screen. How does that look on the bar? Oh, that's not bad. That's about a fifth of the capacity. So we'll grab a few more buckets while the harvesters are harvesting. Get the pigs fill up the straw. No loading wagon, no baler. Not at this stage of the game, not on our budget. Alright, I'm going to carry on doing this until this trough is full. That's my little goal for today. And it means in theory we only need to, you know, plant this a cereal crop producing straw once every 10 days. We can fill the trough up with food, we can fill the straw up with straw, gives us a little bit of flexibility. I'm just looking at the worker. He doesn't like it, does he? It's a very long turn. That's going to cost us quite a lot of money. So we're going to dismiss him. We'll put another edge around this field. Might be better off going sideways actually, for this bigger section of field. So yeah, I don't know how the market works, so we'll keep an eye, see if we can figure out what might be the most profitable crops to grow, and I shall learn along with you. Right, we have filled up the straw for the pigs, and we have piled a bit on the fill point. Now I don't know whether this is going to kind of get auto-absorbed. We shall see. But that's it for that for now. But the harvester is full, so we need to go and unload him, and we'll see how much of this wheat harvest it takes to fill up that pig trough. I've no idea. I've no idea we even do have enough. Did it just empty into the front bucket? No, it didn't, did it? We just got a little bit overexcited. I'm liking the vehicles, the effects. It looks quite smart, doesn't it, with its red header. Right. Wish some of them would empty a bit faster. There we go, 5,600 wheat. Oh, there's the train. We'll get him back on his way. I will turn the train off as a switchable vehicle. I need to be a little bit careful with some of this mess, because when it comes to putting down placeables later, this will be held against us. It will count as an object in the way, I've found. So do try, this was me swinging around the harvester, wasn't it? Do try to keep your area where you might want to put some placeables quite tidy. Right, we drive around this side. You see the trough is also slightly dirty already. Alright, let's put the wheat in first. Is the wheat going to go in? Yes. You've got to select the trailer for the prompt to come up. I have the front loader selected there. Alright. How's that looking on the trough filling? What's that, about a third? That's good. I'll just drop this straw off around here, and we'll go back and give that trough a little bit of a clean up. Here we go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I find it so much easier to use anything that involves a front loader from this right hand side view. If I try and do it from the other side, it kind of reverses everything in my head. So, we've picked up pig food. Okay. I've noticed that the cows' mess now is total mixed ration. I don't know if how dependent. Well, I'm not feeding them everything to make the pig food, so yeah. It must be fixed. I didn't know if it was relative to what you were feeding them. Right, now that's done. We'll leave the trailer here for a moment. We won't need any more straw today. We're going to start fertilizing. And then we can start with the ploughing, which this field needs. Now, what's changed on the fields? For those of you that are familiar with 17, you have to plough after certain crops. They include corn, sugar beet, potatoes, I think sunflowers, anything that I think you plant with a planter rather than with the seeder, but we'll check when we're on that menu screen. And after you've planted those crops, you will need to plough. But that's the only time you need to plough. Every third harvest you need to spread lime on your fields. Now none of these require lime, although I should have checked since I've harvested just in case that situation's changed. But I don't think the lime needs to go on at any particular growth stage other than not ready to harvest. And the fertilizer, as we know, is 2 passes instead of 3. And then the extra thing we're going to have to contend with is weeds. And once we get some weeds, we shall deal with them. And that's how we'll see about that. Right, that'll do for that. Now can we get this plough subsoiler to hitch or stand up, or is it just going to be stuck there? Okay, front loader to the rescue, see if we can avoid having to reset it. Seems a shame to be leaving so much straw around. The straw yield seems to be maybe quite a bit higher than it used to be from the same sort of area as land. But you can't sell loose product, only bales. So until we got a baler, it might be cost effective to get a baler and sell the bales once we get going. But as I say, I want to keep it. Ah, there we go. Oh, don't fall over. Beautiful. Drop the front loader arms down there. Won't let me drop them there. There you go. We'll pick up this guy. Just before we go anywhere, check the field statuses to make sure we are up to date. Soil composition. Yep, you can see the left hand stretches where I just fertilised it once. That's where it's hasn't been harvested yet. So that's good. It does need ploughing, this field, and it doesn't need lime, so that's fine. So we're doing it right so far. So we can now start ploughing the part that we've already fertilised. And there's much more variety in the shop now for equipment categories. So a power harrow that acts as a cultivator. The subsoilers act as a cultivator and plough. There's a selection of those. Then we just have straight up cultivators of various types. I haven't seen a front mounted one yet, which would save us some money. Is that everything, or is there one more? Disc harrows. There you go, they count as cultivators too. So you have various options now in how to get your field ready for seeding. So we'll leave that down to you. We shall simply get on with this. And as you can see, it doesn't get the ploughed, furrowed look that it used to in 17. If I just switch the worker on for a moment, there you go. It is registered as not needing ploughing anymore. Now we need to go and assist the harvester because he's got stuck at this end of the field. In fact, I'm going to carry on harvesting. I'm going to leave the worker to do the ploughing. And we shall come back when we are ready to show you something else. Right, the worker's doing the ploughing. I don't know if you can see the birds that are starting to follow him around. We've harvested the rest of this field. We've fertilised the rest of this field. I'm just going to try a little experiment. If I put my pipe out, can we take full advantage of how close we are to everything? Can I empty this straight into the food truck? I can. Look at that. The compactness, sorry, of this farm is going to be magnificent, I think. There you go. You don't actually even need to interrupt the process with the trailer. The harvester can empty straight into the food trough. and when he's done so, we'll see how much we've got. In fact, let's have a little look now. And as you'll see, from clearing up the mess and putting it back in, it has counted as a small amount of the other food groups. So there we are. I'm guessing we're up to about, what, maybe 6.5, 7 days worth of food there for the pigs, which I think is more than enough for them to be getting on with. Once we've got all the troughs full up, in fact, if we think about it, we've got the corn harvest, so we'll get that filled up. Then tomorrow's harvest will have to include one of those other soybean, canola or sunflowers, and we'll fill that trough up, and then the other produce from the other field we can sell and make a bit of money back. That's good. And we'll try to get the potatoes and the sugar beet from doing missions. I think that's going to be our plan for keeping these pigs at 100% productivity. And there you go, we are now at 100% productivity. We are making, is that right, 18 pigs. We're making 1 pig a day. That's fine. So yeah, pigs are weird, they kind of snowball. We'll see. So they're a bit of a slow burn. Well, here we are, just considering what to do. We've got the worker doing the ploughing. We haven't got a tractor available to do the seeding. We need to make a little bit more money. So let's have a look at what is available contract-wise. Field 22 is next door, but that's barley. Sunflowers in field 16 and take them to the restaurant. Where's field 16? Restaurant's right next door to where we are. And field 16 is one of those up there. I'm just thinking we could do that contract with our own equipment and save ourselves a little bit of money, and on the way up round to do it, the harvester can pick up our corn header for when we need to harvest the corn. That's the plan. Okay, we're back in the shop for a corn header. We're going to apply exactly the same principle. So we've got 17,000 for 3 meters, 19,000 for 3.4. Then they get quite expensive. I think we'll go for the Corn Champion by Ziegler. Why not? Matches our little colour scheme too, I think. And then we're going to take this harvester up to field 17. And that's the wonderful thing about the contracts now. You're not locked in a bubble for the mission. You can attend to the workers. I can take, you know, as long over this contract, I think, as I like. I haven't seen an expiration time. If anyone knows, is there an expiration time on a contract? I guess if there's a harvesting contract, there must be at least to the next growth stage until it expires. But I haven't seen it yet. That would make some kind of sense. Now, are we going the right way? There's no firm guarantee. Doing reasonably well. It's field 16 we want to harvest as well. Sunflowers is what we're after, and hopefully a little bit left over for our pigs. That's my thinking. And even if we can get a few hundred, that'll help keep them up on high productivity. And as you'll see from the animal screen, I'll show you when we get to the field and I get going. The percentages don't quite add up because water and straw give you their own percentage of productivity, but then if you look at the food types and add them up, so you give them all of the food, that adds up to 100. I'm going slightly the wrong way. I need to be the other side of the animal dealer, which is down on the road. It runs parallel with the railroad. Oops. Somebody is obviously employed in this universe to just constantly go around putting traffic signs back up. I also find it a little bit frustrating that if you were to collect up some items from around the map and make yourself some kind of little nest, It all resets when you load the game back in. Right. Well, that field's not ready to harvest. It's field 17, not 16. Don't listen to a word I say. Fact check everything. So that dead time of, well, I could plough that field out of ours manually, save ourselves the wage costs. I think I'm going to make more money doing this. Off we go. Right, I shall spare you watching me. If anything interesting happens, we shall be back. Right, we're done with the ploughing. We're letting a worker carry on just with the harvester just for a couple of minutes while we sort this guy out. We're going to get him to planting, and he's going to fertilise at the same time. So that's going to be Lee's fields done in terms of fertilising and sowing. And just the weeds to keep an eye on later. And yeah, I think this is quite a... Well, we'll see once the accounts have come in that we're not getting hammered on worker costs, because I think maybe leaving a worker doing a job on a field whilst the player is off doing a contract might be quite a good way of managing your time. Right, what are we gonna... We're going to put soy in here today, and we'll see how far across this field we get with the seed that's in the seeder. 240 litres of it. In 17 the fertiliser lasted about 8 times longer than the seed. I get why in real life. It's because you're more likely to be taking the seed out, putting a different type in to do the next field, which you can do in this version of this game too, but it does just seem a little bit odd. But there you go. Last you'll hear me say about it. We'll get back to the contracting. Okay, so as you can see, field 21 is fully fertilised. The seeder did it as it went along. We're now going to go up and meet the harvester. The harvester's full. It's been dormant for maybe 10 minutes, but it doesn't matter now at all. Now what I'm doing is just heading over this way, because I think there is quite a nice route straight from the farm up to those fields. And I'm going to need to put the mini map on and not hit the tree. There we are. We're going to this pathway, and then we can just take this track under the railway bridge straight up to that section of the map. The views are magnificent. The lighting, some of the vistas you get. The clouds are a bit odd. I mean, you see there, it looks, they look, I don't know, dirty. Anyway, here we are. Look, we're here already. It looks like there's maybe going to be about a trailer's worth bang on. Maybe a little bit left over. But of course, we can bring that back down to the farm in the harvester if we need to, because this is all our equipment, so it's all going back to the farm anyway, and we've got to deliver the crop to the restaurant right next to our farm. So this is all working out very, very nicely. And we are on field 16 despite my earlier confusions. Not like me to get confused, is it? So, well, let's him fill up. I think I don't need to go anywhere now. I can just carry on with the harvesting once he's empty. As I say, I'll come back to you when I've finished on this job, and we'll see where we are then. Let's just have a little look. Bouncy sunflowers. Ooh. Let's have a look over the edge of this plateau. You remember earlier on we looked up towards the Spanish mission, which is over there. So the scrapyard we were in is kind of over here. And we're gradually finding our way around the map, which is very, very nice. I'm very pleased to say that the crops no longer come through the floor and into your vehicle. And that applies to the tractor as well, I've just checked. So that's progress for you. And I'm finding this quite easy. I'm kind of getting the rest of the video edited, the clips edited the way they need to be, leaving this guy just on autopilot cruise control up and down the field. Easy peasy. Right, we have all of the sunflower seed in here, just over 10,000 litres. We can use our same way back down, because the restaurant of course is right next door to our farm, which is very, very handy. I think if we take a right here, it brings back out onto the road. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Nothing to see, all under control. There's definitely a big change, an improvement in this kind of ground physics, ground effects on the vehicles. Just a minute, where am I? Where on earth am I? Right. Down here. And do a left here. And this of course is where we need to be very careful. Simply because we want to keep as much in the trailer as we can. If we were just to pour it all straight in, the excess over what the contract requires will just get paid for at the going rate. But we don't want to do that. We want to try to keep it. So I'm going to stop unloading when we get to about 2,000, and then we'll start being very careful. In fact, I'm going to stop there. About 3,000. Let's check our mission progress. 94% done. Right. So it might not need much more in there at all. Alright, saving nearly 2,000. 96, still wants a bit more. $98. We're not going to have a lot left over, are we? 99, are we going to have any left over? %. No, I still can't complete it. Why is that menu skipping around like that? I'm not doing anything. I promise you I'm not touching the controller. What's happening there? That's a bit odd. I've broken something. It's not going to let me complete the mission, is it? That is a little bit strange. Anyway. Maybe the great sunflower swindle wasn't so great after all. Let's see. Oh, now we can complete it. There you go. Got some money. We overpulled to the extent of $77. We got 185. I think it's going to work well for the root crops, because the pigs use it, such a small amount of it, that we can just get that 5% just by the leftovers. But we got some in there. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a root crop mission today for us to do. That screen is still glitching around like an idiot. I really don't quite understand what's going on there. Right, piggies, where are we? Productivity 55%. Oh, that's because those scraps of corn, etc. have run out. Right. I think we're going to have to call it an episode there, guys. I am going to complete today's harvest, i.e. the corn, probably off camera, because it's going to happen about 9 o'clock at night. It's going to be dark. It's really awful to record, and it comes out even worse from YouTube because it is so dark. So I'm going to spare you that. I'm going to decide whether to maybe not replant that cornfield tonight and do it tomorrow to get these fields in sync, or I may just leave them with that growth stage in between. I'm leaving plant growth on fast, so it will be earlier tomorrow, and maybe we can harvest and process one field, do some jobs in that intervening bit of the growth stage, and then get on and do the other field. We'll play that by ear, but for now I'm going to leave you. The pigs are doing quite well. It's still day one, remember. I don't know how we're going to settle this into some kind of a structure, or we're just going to play episodes as they play. We'll play that by ear. If you prefer me to kind of try to keep to some kind of pattern, make a comment. And thank you very much for those of you that have commented lately. I really do appreciate that. I'll speak to you all soon. Leave a like if you've liked it. The pigs are happy. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. Subscribe if you want to stay in touch, and click the notification bell if you want to know immediately when we upload the next video. For now, thank you very much for watching, and take care.